Hi guys, Steven here, back with another video. This video is going to be on the whole Kanye West controversy. Kanye, yay, Mr. West, the Louis Vuitton Don, whatever you want to call him. He's always causing a lot of trouble. Let's say, there's a lot of controversy with this man. Everyone knows it. Even if you might not be a fan of rap or rap music, everyone knows the name. Well, Kanye, now it's Ye. He really wants people to know him as Ye. He was talking about, when people don't refer to him as Ye now, he was saying that that's almost like, people still calling Muhammad Ali, after he changed his name to Muhammad Ali, Cassius Clay. So, he's really offended by that when people still call him Kanye. But I think the thing is, Kanye, he's just had that name, and he's been in the minds of it, and he's been in, he's been famous now for about, 17, 18 years now. He was known as Kanye West for about, 16 years we're talking about now? Was it like last year or so he changed his name to Ye? But the thing is, I want to do this video because, I had been uploading a few shorts, those shorts videos about Kanye. I'm a big Kanye West fan. Huge fan of his music. I still overall like him as a person. I think for all the bullshit and the big ego and all the lot of controversial shit that he talks about, overall, I do think he's a good guy. I think there's a good heart there. I do think at his core, he's a decent person. But Kanye, as of late, has been saying a lot of, let's just be honest, he's been saying some fucked up shit. You've even got people on the right now, who a lot of people were, defending Kanye on the right. But now I don't think they can really defend him anymore with some of the just whack shit that he's coming out with. There was the whole stuff about going at, attacking Jewish people. Now there's the whole stuff about saying that George Floyd, that the cop, his knee wasn't even that hard on George Floyd's neck. And it's like, come on, man. Like, come on, Kanye. Number one, it's like, it's really, I think a lot of this probably has to do with him. It's the Candace Owens influence, really, I think it's kind of been a bit of a bad influence there with Candace Owens. I know Kanye at one point, he was saying, I like the way she thinks. And I think that was maybe maybe a week or two before he had said the whole slavery sounds like a choice, that whole thing, And again, was it wrong for him to say that? Yes, but in the end of the day, though, it was taken out of context. He was talking about mindset, mentality. That's really what he was talking about. It was about so many people, we, as people, as human beings, most people, go to job, go do a 9-to-5 job they don't like, and that's really a slave mindset. You're just a slave for the dollar. At the end of the day, you're not free. You're not mentally free. You're not really, get a lot of fulfillment out of what you do. Yeah, some people to a degree get a good bit of fulfillment out of a job they like, even if they hate it. But I said in a job, their job, they might hate it, but they still get a bit of fulfillment out of their work. But the thing is, and maybe I'm just going off a bit here, but Kanye, there is times where I think people do just take what he says out of context. Many people probably do it intentionally, people on the left, and then you just want to label him and write him off as crazy. But I think at the end of the day, though, Kanye, this guy is just one of a kind, man. The raps, the producing, everything that makes Kanye. Not many people come around like this guy. and that's just this is who he is, you know. Love it or hate it or love it. And you know, I mean, the thing is, I try and focus on the good, especially, well, certainly with people, and maybe we all have that thing where we all play favorites. If we don't like something, if we don't like someone, we're gonna latch on to the bad things about them. That's easy. And I suppose if we really like somebody, we're gonna focus on the good, and we're gonna probably overlook the bad aspects to their character, to their personality. We all do this to varying degrees, you know. Let's just be honest, you know. But I don't know. I mean, I watched that pretty much the whole interview he did with Tucker Carlson on Fox News, and I mean, really, I mean, yeah, there was a lot of trolling and there was a lot of Kanye just being Kanye and bullshitting, you know, the big ego. But there was some. I think for the most part, though, he did speak very eloquently. He definitely made, I felt, quite a lot of good points. Talking about the liberal media, the agenda they have. It is no doubt a godless agenda. Most people in the liberal media are atheists. They don't do God. There is just kind of an agenda there when it comes to being pro-abortion. Wanting to tell kids that there's 20 different genders. And it's just, yeah, it's a funny one, you know. And I don't have a problem with people being, don't have a problem with people being homosexual, don't have a problem with being transgender, but just, you know, let kids be happy. Give kids a chance to just grow up and, you know, have a happy childhood, you know. You know, I feel like the whole world's going to shit, really, you know. But there's that agenda there, and Kanye sees it for what it really is. And when you're in that celebrity world and it's a bubble, you know, I mean, for Kanye to see this and he speaks out, you gotta give him credit, you know. I mean, I don't really know this guy too well, but you get Roger Waters who's speaking out. He spoke out about the treatment of Julian Assange. He's spoken out about the whole Russia-Ukraine war, not just going along with the typical the liberal mainstream media narrative, and you got to respect that. Because I was just thinking about this earlier when I was watching Roger Waters and Joe Rogan speak, two very intelligent, you know, interesting guys, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, you got a guy like Paul McCartney who is very talented, but what opinion has Paul McCartney really got on the Ukraine Russia war and these other conflicts, stuff that's going on in China, Taiwan, and other, you know, these political things? He doesn't really have an opinion, does he? He just goes on Glastonbury, virtue signals, has the Ukraine flag, and, you know, that's what McCartney does. That's what people, the big celebrities, you know, you're talking the big multi-millionaires, the people like Elton John, you know, the people that are, you know, the people that were, you know, they're going to Buckingham Palace, meeting the Queen, and all that shit, you know what I mean? But Kanye, even though he's in that celebrity bubble, can see what's really going on. And he speaks his mind. But, I mean, there's the things, you know, you can't just give Kanye a free pass on these things. You know, there's the whole DEFCON free, going DEFCON free on Jewish people, you know. So basically he's saying, I'm going to be in an all-out defense. I'm watching you guys, kind of thing. And it's like, you know, this is the whole thing. You know, we've heard it from rappers in the past. We've heard it from other people. You know, the whole stuff about being against Jewish people, and you know, it's the whole thing. You get into dangerous territory when you all you start doing that generalization, and you just start judging everyone. So if one Jewish person is bad, then all Jewish people are bad, and that's not how it is. You know, there was a British rapper Wiley, and he had said some stuff about, oh, Jewish people this, Jewish people that. I think it was a year or two ago, and I haven't heard from Wiley since, you know. And Wiley's, you know, had his kind of his run, really. He's had some moderate success, you know, and, you know, in the British scene anyway. But, you know, this is the problem with people, you know, rappers. You know, there's a lot of stupidity in rap. And when you've got guys like Wiley who say stuff and Kanye say things. There's been plenty of rappers that have said stuff speaking out against Jewish people. You could, you've got NWA, well, Ice Cube specifically. You had Public Enemy. You had Jay Electronica. And these are people who, musically, I do respect. I fuck with them. But again, it's just, they could word things a little bit better, you know? This is the problem with people in rap. They make important points in the worst way possible. They really do. But another thing with the Kanye interview was I was just watching this a bit earlier again, and it was the stuff with Trump. Trump. I don't know if they're maybe friends anymore. Maybe they're just acquaintances. But then it was just the thing about Trump saying, "Oh, now you came to visit me in the White House, Kanye. Now my black approval rating's gone up." And that's I found quite sad, quite disappointing. And it almost reminded me of something that Trump had, that Cartoon Present parody show, and the Trump character had said that, And this is, I've got to admit, yeah, I'm conservative, but I've watched that Cartoon Present show, and I find it fucking hilarious. And I think the guy who does the Trump voice is fucking brilliant. Is really fucking good. It's probably even better than that liberal fucking lunatic Alex Baldwin, But the sad thing is that the right, the left, Republicans, Democrats, it's all the same. It's all this, this is the thing. People say on the right that the left play identity politics, but people on the right do the exact same fucking thing. Oh, black people this, this about immigrants, this about gay people, this about climate change people, this about climate deniers, blah, 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 and it all goes on and on and on. And it's just, we're all being pitted against each other, And in a way, that's what really the elite want, don't you think? Divide and conquer. But that's quite sad, though, that it kind of really just came down maybe more to a thing of Trump, he didn't really give a fuck about Kanye. It was more just about his approval ratings. And that's sad. But overall, I think he means well, Kanye, at his core. People can say, oh, you're talking shit, this, that, the other, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. But it was this one thing that I found quite interesting what he was talking about. It was that, people have this, fake-ass sympathy for, like when people say to you, are you all right, if you're maybe a little bit agitated or mad at something, maybe. I've had this before with people who say they're my friends, but I don't know. I'm not sure, but it's that thing when people say, are you all right, and you just don't feel it's genuine. You just feel like they're really actually kind of in a way trying to encroach on you, And when, he's talking about that, and I could kind of relate to that, Like, and that's the thing. Kanye was talking about the whole thing about, the media trying to paint me as crazy by getting the house across the street from his wife. But it was like, this guy was torn, he wanted to keep his family together, And then seeing the guy that she was with, a guy who does look like a junkie, it sounds a bit harsh, but it's true. This kind of tatted up man-child who ended up with Ariana Grande, and she had ended things with Mac Miller before that. Look what happened to Mac Miller, And I don't even find this clown funny. I'd have to see some of his stand-up to see it. But hasn't he got like some weird shit, like a tattoo of like a baby getting raped or some shit, like something similar to what that jackass guy Steve-O has? Like this guy's weird, This guy is quite weird. And Kim Kardashian ends up with him. Like, was this really just a planned out relationship from the start? Of all the men she could be with, she chose Pete Davidson. Yeah, I know he's got money. Yeah, I know he is a celebrity. But, geez, Pete Davidson. Think back to when she was dating guys like, even when she was with Ray J, even when she was fucking around with, American football players. Imagine if, like, one of her friends or one of her sisters told her, in 15 years' time, you're going to be you'll be a single mother, you'll have 4 kids, but then you'll end up hooking up with a guy that looks like him. pointing to a guy like Pete Davidson. She'd have laughed her ass off at that. And it's like, gee, like, what the fuck is going on, you know? But the thing is with Kanye and Kim Kardashian, I knew that it would end in tears. I knew it, you know? I remember saying to people back in 2013, you know, they'll break up in about 5 years' time and Kanye will do an album about how Kim's the devil. You know? And my prediction more or less came true in a way when you think about it. They got together. About 5 years later, he does the Jesus is King album, so he gets real religious. Okay, they're still together at this point. It was only until about 2 years later they get together. But still, you know, it didn't, you know, that's it. It didn't work. It fell apart. And it seemed to be the one thing that I felt when I noticed the whole talk about, oh, they're maybe splitting up. It was when Kanye was coming out really, you know, against abortion, you know. And then about an hour or so later, there's a TMZ thing about, oh, Kim's already speaking to her lawyers or blah, blah, blah. And I just thought to myself, wow. So this guy that feels a particular way that, you know, babies shouldn't be aborted, you know, you can, and I get it, the whole thing in a case of rape and incest, yeah, I get that. But again, you know, my mum's Catholic. It's not even so much a Catholic thing with me. Yes, I'm Catholic, but then, you know, my mum's against it, and I don't like this liberal crowd that would try and bully people like my mum into accepting it. I don't like it. I don't like that at all, you know. And you get people like Miley Cyrus, for God's sake, like in a picture with her tongue out, oh, and it's a cake, saying on the cake, abortion's healthcare. Like, what the fuck? Like, these are the people in your team. Liberals, like, good grief, it's pathetic. But this is just really the culture war, man. You know, it's like things changed. You know, Brexit and Trump changed a lot. You know, that's when the left took off the gloves. You know, they stopped playing nice. You know, they showed their true colors. Really, you know, they showed how nasty they can be. And you gotta watch for these fuckers, really. All of them. You see now with James Corden. Typical guy that comes off like a harmless, nice guy, liberal. Just wants to be your friend. Just wants to goof off and laugh around with everybody. And look at him. Look at him now about this whole stories that have come out. About how rude and obnoxious and condescending he is when he's at a restaurant. Like speaking down to these waiters who are, you know, just there to make ends meet. Talking down to them like shit. It's like, come on, man. You know? And wasn't that guy that he was on that show with, God, what's it called again? Oh, God, Gavin and Stacey, that show, yeah. Didn't he, like, stop speaking to him for, like, 10 years? Probably because he realized this guy's just, he's just a climber, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? He's not the guy he makes himself out to be, you know? You know, I'm sure he probably, you know, he knows probably better than anyone what he's really like. But, yeah, you see, and these things were coming out about Corden even before that, you know, videos on YouTube. And but that's the thing with these liberals, man. They get exposed at the end, bro. Karma, always counting it. I've always said that, you know. But going back to Kanye, though, you know, this is the thing, you know, I'm talking about. Don't just put everybody, you know, don't just tar everybody with the same brush, you know. Yeah, like, I like you, I fuck with you, you're a good dude, but, you know, come on, man. I think an apology or an explanation of some sort is needed here, man. And especially with the fucking George Floyd comments. Like, get the fuck away from Candace Owens. I mean, really, you made Candace Owens, Kanye. I mean, she was just someone who, I mean, I think she even a liberal before that, had a websites, you know, she was liberal, you know. That's someone I'm a bit unsure about, Candace Owens, I've got to say, you know. I don't know, just something about her, she doesn't, you know, I have my doubts. But, you know, he really put her on the map. I mean, I didn't know who the fuck Candace Owens was before that. I like the way Candace Owens thinks tweet, you know. I didn't know who she was. And now look at the big platform she's got, millions of views on her videos and what, almost a million subscribers, or she's killing it now, But the whole thing. This is the thing. Like she'll say this shit about oh, Hitler. If only Hitler had stuck to what he did in Germany and not around the world, then that would have been okay. That would have been all right. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about, girl? It's like, good grief. And these are the people that I think they know what they're doing. These people, they say these things. They try to be controversial. You know what I mean? This is what these people are. It's just very much. It's just I don't know, Bush League shit, really. I mean, he talks over my head a lot, but you don't see Jordan Peterson saying things like that, do you? And he is well respected, even with the leftists. The leftists, the liberals, the Russell Howard will come on with him. They have a nice, there's good, civil discourse there. And other, people like that, he'll go on the Bill Maher, he'll go on whatever, the other liberal talk shows. They can't fuck with him. Some of them will try, but they can't. But it's the thing is, like, when you say these dumbass things, that just gives them all the ammunition to go, these guys are off their rocker, I would get away from Candace Owens if I were you, yeah. Real, for real. You get that guy Zuby who come out and spoke against Kanye about the comments. And again, Zuby was probably the only one in this, the whole community who was objective about it. So much respect to Zuby. And you had Ben Shapiro, right? And Ben Shapiro, he was praising Kanye with the Tucker Carlson interview, how great that was, and then, he was obviously against what, the whole DEFCON 3 thing. He's very much, I mean, I don't know if it's ultra orthodox, but he's Jewish. But the thing with this is one thing about Ben Shapiro though. Ben Shapiro at one point 4 years ago was like, all these people on the right who are supporting Kanye, shows just their desperation to be taken seriously. And then you've got Shapiro who's sucking up to Kanye a week ago, and then a few days ago he's going to be like, no, that was way out of line, this, that, the other, and it's just, again, it shows how fickle people like him are. But then even there's other people on the right that'll say, the liberals only started saying Kanye was crazy until the whole thing with Trump, and it's like, no, come on, let's be objective here, let's be honest. They were saying he was crazy going back to like 2007 time, Sure, yeah, liberals probably loved him in 2005 when he was saying like, George Bush doesn't care about black people. But, it goes back to the whole thing with going on, rushing the stage with the whole Taylor Swift incident. A lot of liberals have fought this guy that they just don't like him, They think he's an ass, a dick, whatever. I personally think Kanye is a lovable dick in many ways, but I imagine, though, he can be just a bit too much, though, for some people. But overall, I rock with him, I fuck with him, I like his music. I think he's a good guy, but there should be an explanation of some sort. Will he give that explanation? Will there be an apology? I don't know. If anything, he might just double down. But I guess we'll have to just wait and see. But overall, those are my thoughts, guys. Feel free to comment. Feel free to tell me what you think. But yeah, no, as I say, Kanye, he is an interesting guy, and it's all this stuff now that's going on about the banks now. No one wants to have Kanye's money with him. But you've got Kanye wanting to buy this conservative social media app. I think the chief executive is he's actually married to Candace Owens. So, God, who knows what's going to go on? It's kind of, I suppose, almost kind of like a chess game going on right now. But there's still a lot more important shit in the world right now. And Kanye, moaning because things didn't go his way with business, because he felt he got screwed over, maybe not enough money, or not enough